Good morning. If you're in the US, happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to come on here and just tell you quickly that I'm really thankful for you and that we are connected. And, sometimes there's a lot of pressure around the holidays to make it special or feel a certain way or set things up um, so that everyone's happy. But I just want to let you know that whatever you need to notice about this holiday or experience, that can just be what it is. And you can be okay with whether it's amazing or whether it's just okay. Last night, in the middle of the night, first my 1 year old was up, and then the smoke alarm started going off. Like, I guess it died in the night, so it just started chirping about every 60 seconds or something. So I had to find a chair, climb up, disconnect it, and take it down so that I could sleep because it was the one in our bedroom. And I just remember being a little bit annoyed and thinking, "Oh my gosh, I've lost so much sleep tonight. How am I going to be in a good mood tomorrow?" And then I just started thinking, "Okay, or I could flip this around and think, I'm thankful that even though my son is waking me up, that he's in our life and he's in our home and he's fighting off a cold, but it's just a cold." And yeah, the smoke detector's going off, but I live in a day and age when there's smoke detectors that, save lives, and we live in a nice home, and it's fall, so the leaves are amazing, and I get to connect with people like you here, and that makes me feel really good. And I'm trying out some new things this Thanksgiving. I was telling folks on my email list about it. Uh, oh, in the past, when I've hosted, we pretty much make everything from scratch because that's how I like to do it. I like really good food and I do like cooking, but I came to the realization that I think I like socializing more than I like cooking. And and so we decided this year, instead of buying all the ingredients and making everything, that we were going to order some things pre-ordered. And I can already tell that my stress level today is less than it would be if I was running around trying to make sure everything is planned out right. Um and I also recognize we've never been in a place where we felt like that was a decision that we would have made. And yet this year it was. And I think, wow, I might never go back to making Thanksgiving myself again. We're going to make a few of the dishes, but most of them we just went ahead and bought. Because when I did the math, I thought, when I think about time and all the ingredients that I'm buying, it's actually, I'm not saving that much money. And yeah, cooking sometimes brings me joy, but really connecting with family, and that brings me joy even more. And so, um, and I'm also kind of observing, all right, if I take away, for me, the stressor of preparing a lot of the meal, does that make the holiday more enjoyable? Because I have a tendency to get stressed on the holidays. I will not deny that. Um, but it's something that I want to shift about myself. And so this is one variable I'm changing this year. And I'm going to notice, how does it feel? What do I think? Is it worth it? Because it does cost money to buy something pre-made. And so that might be something you want to explore too. Not necessarily do I buy it pre-made or not, but are there things about the holiday that make it not as enjoyable and a little bit more stressful? And if there are, what can you do to shift that? I have these conversation cards. I think they're called table topics, but we have a few different sets actually because I love things like that. And one of the things that I heard somebody say online and that I've been thinking about doing is, if for you the stressor is less about the food and the stuff, but maybe more about how are the people going to interact and is everyone going to get along and all that. One thing that you could pre-plan to do is have a couple conversation starters that are topics about things that are not really contentious. And of course, like, I'm not saying don't ever have contentious conversations or talk about difficult things, but if your desire is to have connection and have everyone have a good time together, then maybe you'll propose a couple topics. It could be something like, where's one place you want to go in the world? Tell me an adventure you want to have in your lifetime. If you could live in any time period, when would it be? What do you think the world is going to be like 100 years from now? What is the invention that you're most thankful for? Topics like these get people thinking about things in a new way. You could also ask things about family history. Or if you're with your friends, ask about their history. Because one of the things that I think is really fun is sometimes when you've been around people a lot, you really feel like you already know them. But I know when I ask questions like this of my husband, I've known him for 14 years and he still says things that I don't know. Or he'll tell a story about his life and I think, I never heard that before. Or last year, I remember, or was it last year or the year before, when Prince died? And I was listening to a lot of the songs that week and I was really grieving his passing. All of a sudden, my husband was like, "Wow, I didn't even know you were a Prince fan or such a big Prince fan." And I thought, wait a minute, how did you not know this about me when you've known me all this time? And it was kind of fun. And so I am suggesting to you, this could be a fun day to try and find something new about someone who you're spending this day with. And if you're in a place where you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, or maybe you've did it last weekend or you're doing it next weekend, find a time to ask someone that you're with a question that gets a little bit deeper into something that you don't know about them, and that can be a fun thing to do. One last little idea that you could present is, if you do have a strong desire to bring up issues of our times that people are aware of, you can experiment with what is a gentle way to bring it up that engages people in conversation. So it could be an educational piece. So, for example, I live on what is Cherokee land. Like they were the original people here. There are still some people in this region, and so my intention later today is to bring it up at the blessing when we do that at the table, and maybe even ask, what do we know about the Cherokee? Or do any of us know any Cherokee right now? And we have one book in our home that's written by a Native American author. So the one thing that a lot of people are calling for is find a way to connect and respect the indigenous peoples on this holiday, because is definitely misrepresentation as to what this holiday represents, and we can open the conversation, perhaps, if you feel called to do so, in a way that's not in conflict, but just in dialogue and perhaps in an educational way. And I shared, I think it was yesterday or the day before on my page, I don't know if it was this page or my Soul Pioneer page, about 8 things you can do to help decolonize this Thanksgiving. So that could be a really good article to check out. There's also, it's really easy to do a web search and find other articles and ideas. And if you don't know what land you're on, as in who the indigenous people were there are definitely maps that you can look at to find out, because I think it's a really good thing to be aware of. All right. I am so thankful for you. As I said before, I'm really thankful that we're connected. I hope that this day brings you some moments where you feel happy and connected to others. And if it isn't that way, then maybe you can find a moment to step outside and connect to the natural world and have a moment of mindfulness and peace, away from your human family or your friends. And I just wish you the best today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.